Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BSV TV. I'm your host Satoshi, and on this show we'll be defending the one and only, truly genuine Bitcoin. The Bitcoin that Satoshi Nakamoto designed in his white paper as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system for the world. Let's get the disclaimers out of the way. So all the statements that you hear on this show are opinion and must only ever be taken as opinion. They are never to be taken as any form of advice, family, financial, sexual or otherwise. And on that note, let's sit back, relax, have some fun and enjoy the show. Get paid for your content in Bitcoin and set your own fee on Streamanity.
Yeah, I'm not surprised I wasn't asked why I'm convinced Craig is Satoshi. I posted on Reddit. He signed in my presence using the private key from block number one, the very first mined Bitcoin block, on a computer that I'm convinced had not been tampered with, on software I'm convinced that had not been tampered with, a message of my choosing.
At InChain, we've just funded a number of universities doing, so far, a test up to 1 gigabyte because it validates what we've already done independently. We've tested up to 380 gigabyte blocks. We've tested 1 million transactions a second and transaction sizes up to 20 megabytes. Super complex scripts, basically ones that can run operating systems. That's basically all of global commerce times about 50. On top of that, we can have complex scripts. On top of that, we can scale each of those transactions 1,000 times, which effectively means about 1 billion transactions per second, which means we can then have all derivatives, all complex trades. That means high frequency trading. It means everything that happens globally.
Is the market that effectively BSV is going for, is that global e-commerce, which is currently valued at $29 trillion?
No, that's too small.
Buy and sell Bitcoin instantly at bsvgravity.com. And you can now book and pay for your winter holiday at skibsv.com. Alrighty people, righty-roo. How are we doing? Just checking everything. Yeah, it looks like we are live. Sorry for the late show today, but can't do the show like at the same time every day because certain things come up. But we are here today to rock and roll. Let's get on with this. As I said many a time before, there is never, ever a dull moment in crypto. And to be honest with you, I don't think there ever will be for the rest of history. I mean, I think people are going to be talking about Bitcoin for the rest of our lifetime, at least, because, you know, they're going to be talking about the baby boomers who initially got lucky with equities and property and stuff like that. You know, and now it's going to be like, well, you know, who bought Bitcoin? You know, well, they'll be talking about it when it's like $40 million plus. They'll be like, oh my God, like who bought Bitcoin when it was under $200? And it's now worth 40 million plus. And it doesn't seem to have stopped going up. The whole world is going to be like basically on the up and feeling good about themselves because money is finally going to function properly. And talking about that, I was actually watching a program about Elon Musk just the other day and how, I mean, crikey, what a roller coaster ride he's been on. You know, like selling PayPal and I think he sold, is it Compact? He made some sort of computer program for, and then there's obviously SpaceX and there's Solar City. Oh, that was right. I was watching a program where it involved him about the current energy crisis in Southern Australia. You know, and it's all politics. It's absolute bollocks. And by people are saying, oh, you know, we're getting energy bills of like $1,000 a month, yeah, which is absolutely insanity. And yet it's all due to politics and the fact that money doesn't work. Like, you know, people are literally having to choose whether to put their energy on or not because, you know, whatever it is that's in the pipeline that politics can't decide on is all about the fact that they can't decide who they should and who they shouldn't give money to. Because money is the problem. It's absolutely insane. And so I was just thinking, like, you know, when money works, there won't be an issue with energy companies being able to provide energy. Because they've got the capability to provide energy. Yeah, we've got the capabilities to feed the world. Like, what they don't have is the money which effectively they need, you know, to trade and give the energy back, because the money they're using, which is fiat currency, like the Australian dollar, doesn't have any value, and it's constantly going down and down and down as the government print more and more and more. Like, it's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. And people aren't going to be so wasteful with their money when it's actually going up in value. They're going to be thinking carefully. You're not going to have any of these douchebags just like, spitting out children just because they feel like it, just because they think they can get benefits of the government and stuff like that. Like, in fact, these people who spit out children that don't really want them, they're only doing it because it's like it puts money in their pocket, they're going to be the ones that are actually going to stop having kids because they're arseholes. So now it's actually only going to be those people who genuinely want children because they're willing to spend the money on raising them and bringing them up, because they value them over the price of Bitcoin going up. Whereas these selfish idiots won't. They're just like, nope, I want this money all for myself, and therefore, in order to keep more for myself, I'm going to make sure I don't have any babies. And it's like, well, good. You shouldn't have had babies in the first place because you're an arsehole. So yeah, that was one thing that I thought was quite interesting. So check this out. We'll just check on the health of the network, the crypto forecast, the health checkup of the network. We've got Bitcoin with 2% of the hash rate, Bcrash with 1.9, and Core Coin with 95.8. Good to see they're going down a little bit. I always like them in the 95, preferably below. Network nodes still the same. Transactions have gone up on Bitcoin. They're now nearing 70%, and the rest can just do one because they're fighting over 30% between them, which is pathetic. And then block size, look at that. Well, Bitcoin storming ahead now. Storming ahead with nearly 60% block size, maybe due to volume of transactions or something like that. But yeah, the rest can just do one. Gary V, if you're watching this, you... Right, let's have a look at see whose mine blocks so we get an idea of what the pie chart is going to look like at the bottom. So we've got Nempool, Norpool, then unknown, Tal, unknown, BTC.com, good. Huobi, unknown, Binance, boo. OKX, Huobi, Binance, Huobi, unknown. Tal, Pro Hashing, good to see them. Dutch Miners got one, well done. Tal, VAR, BTC, Huobi, Binance, alright, pretty good mix today. It'd be interesting to see what it looks like by the time we get down there. Good to see OKX in the mix, macking it hard. Nice, yeah. Looking good. Satoshi Analyst says, Gary Fakey. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Oh, what douchebag. Utter douchebag. And there was another bloke as well who's pulled out. Some like Prime Trust, whatever. He's only got like 400 followers on Twitter, but I mean, he's thanking all these shitcoiners for educating him. Like, absolutely insane. I mean, it just goes to show you these people who you think are smart, are listening to these stupid, dumb douchebags and saying, "Oh, thanks for that. I didn't realize that." It's just like, well, if you actually heard what they were saying, you'd realize that it didn't make any sense. So what does that make you? That makes you actually pretty stupid. So why would we want to listen to you anyway? It's crackers. Literally, I mean, it just goes to show you, like, these academics that, they're not riddle solvers. They're not problem solvers. They just sort of, maybe like build or have an idea about developing on something. But when it comes to money and solving or understanding the paradox of this centralized starting point, they just can't do it. Because it's nowhere, it's not in a book anywhere. Like, I have never ever, come across an education about money, phrases like, the paradox of the centralized starting point. Because you've got to use your intellect to figure it out. I was just like, wow, I've understood the sort of like conundrum that we were in. And I was like, well, actually, that's the paradox. If something has started, it's got no value. So what's the point in starting something when it's the actual starting point that means it's got no value? How do we get around that? That's the paradox. It's like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? But talking about chickens and eggs, there was an egg and a chicken in bed. The chicken was in bed with a scowl on his face, with his wings crossed, not looking too happy. And then the egg was lying next to him, smoking a cigarette. And then the egg turned to the chicken and said, well, I guess we've just solved that then. Everything like that. Yeah, I think the future is bright. I'm very much looking forward to that. And on that note, I've been going for 30 minutes. It is time for my favourite part of the day. Let's get it on and ding a dong. I can feel it. There we go. All right, nice. Talking about Sentby, I did actually see a video recently with Lorian Garmanoff and Heidi. They were just talking about, how they can now pay for utilities in South Africa on Sentby. I mean, yeah, the development and the creativity going on in these apps is absolutely fantastic. I love hearing about this every day. So I think on my show, I maybe sort of like try and divide it into segments. So first bit, is coin dance, statistics, health of the network. Then we'll go on to the market, having a look at prices. Then we go into the gossip because that's my favourite part. Seeing what's happening, and then we'll probably go on to. I'll probably do research and send. And talk about apps and stuff that are coming. But what we can all do is, if you hear or come across an interesting article, please just DM me with it. Whether it's about an app, whether it's about news that you've come out. Just do your little bit. If you're researching and you think, oh, that's quite interesting, I'll send Soshi that. Maybe you can talk about it on his show. Yeah, that would be great. I'd love to do that. And I'd love to talk about anything that you hear. The more eyes there are on the ground, the more news, and information that we're going to get in. So start doing that. And then maybe if you want to, you can send it to other people, start educating yourself. Maybe do your show. The influx of people is going to be absolutely staggering. Like I just thought when I onboarded the chat from Iceland, I was just like, I still have to pinch myself knowing that the entire country of Iceland is going to be following that Twitter profile very soon. Literally there are going to be hundreds of thousands of people flooding in to BSV. You're flooding in, and we can't all. I can't. Be as attentive to 1 million followers, as I can to just like a handful of you guys that I've got in the chat box now. And to be honest with you, I prefer having a smaller amount of people because like you get to know people, you can have chats with them, you can have like lols with them, in the DMs. So and it's kind of like it's gonna it is gonna be a little bit exhausting, dealing with all the newbies that are coming into BSV. So we're going to have to encourage other people to start groups themselves. So initially it's sort of like going to be countries, and then divided into regions, divided into counties, divided into villages. Just like I said, it's a social infrastructure that we need to build. And you've got the miners who are obviously filthy stinking rich with hundreds of thousands of BSV, but then it's also the miners have got an interest in encouraging developers, because developers make Bitcoin more valuable and get more people using it. So they're going to invest in the developers, so that you've got the developers being paid. Whereas we the educators, like the social infrastructure, if you think about it, we haven't really done anything. When the price goes up, that's basically going to be on the back of the miners investing what they've done and the developers building what they've done. So the least we can do is just simply get a firm understanding of this and be able to explain it to newbies who are going to have questions. Live at 5. And on that note, as always, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, joy given. Catch everybody soon. Oh, guys, enjoy. See you later. BuyBSV.live, the best place to buy Bitcoin SV online. Get paid for your content in Bitcoin and watch the full episode on Streamanity, free for 15 hours. Go to www.satoshi.tv. See the link in the description below.